You won't hold heroes hostages to torture them. You won't throw a hero against a wall once you have them by the neck. You sure won't start monologuing if you have a hero at gunpoint. You're the deadliest villain in history. A villain without an ego. Some might think the backstory of the world's most effective supervillain is one of strife, loss, hatred, and vengeance. That my parents were killed in the crossfire between police and bad guys. Or were collateral damage of a superhero saving the day. Nah. Warrants and kill on sight orders notwithstanding, I think my parents did a pretty good job raising me. I'm a college grad, family man, father of two, business owner, and I've only been late on my mortgage once. I don't get to see the family as much as I'd like, but when your main office is situated a mile and a half under a dormant volcano, you don't really get the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule most others have. I'm not in it for vengeance or some other cliche plot point. I mean, yes, I intend to rule the world, but not for the sake of power or some other line of propaganda the Heroes Alliance and the media might be pushing. Hell, I don't want to rule the world. I just don't see an alternative to unfucking the planet within my lifetime. Hopefully, I can do this before my kids are in school, and they could grow up knowing Dad changed the world for them. I understand, Dave, but a moon-based laser weapon just isn't something we're going with right now. No, it's not the cost, it's the side effects. Yes, I get that we could hold entire nations hostage. No, it's the ozone and other environmental impacts. Come up with something a little less ecological disaster and a little more surgical, and we'll talk. You're the best mad scientist I've met, much less heard of, so I have faith in you. Speaking of which, are you and Faith coming over for dinner next weekend? We're doing fried chicken and karaoke. Alright, Dave. See you then. As I place the red phone back in its cradle, I realize just how lucky I am to have my employees. Just a little under 400 people working toward a common goal and with nearly 100% retention. Then again, with the benefits, matching 401k, annual 8% pay raises, and a full health care, it makes sense. Especially with an average tax-free income of $110,000. Even the most junior of the janitorial staff makes $85,000 minimum starting. The company picnics are always a hit, what with the office being under a tropical island. So it's no surprise that Jerry, my assistant, felt it perfectly okay to wear a "My boss is more evil than your boss" t-shirt for Casual Friday, as he knocks, then opens the door to my semi-private office. I believe in an open-door policy most of the time, unless I'm on an important call. Boss? He asks with a wave of the stack of reports in his hand. Got the weeklies. Also, just got word that Topside Access spotted a small aircraft flying low over the island. Airwatch didn't see them. Standard response? Standing with a sigh. Drop them on my desk, if you don't mind. I'll take care of them later. Get the response team to the B1 corridor. Have all non-essential shelter in place. Let the response team know I'll be up in a sec. As he closes the door to return to his desk and hit the hero alert, I open the somewhat out-of-place wardrobe beside my desk. Inside is a plain, flat gray, but very expensive set of combat armor. As I don the armor, I wonder if today's team of supers will be the same as the last two, going for the dramatic elevator entrance and ending up a red smear at the bottom of the shaft. Carl in maintenance was the one who recommended we not opt for the overhead access door for the elevator car and put the safety brakes on a shutoff switch. He's also the employee of the month for having disabled set brakes and cutting the cables the last two intrusion attempts. Good man. Reaching the first level below ground corridor a minute later, I bumped up my estimation of this group of heroes. The motion alert for the main stairwell next to the elevator was blinking in my HUD. The same as it was for the 8 members of the identically kitted response team taking up positions alongside. Standard procedure, boys and girls. If they start flinging powers first, take them down. If they're willing to talk, we'll try to hire them. Ed, would you like the honors? A scoff and a tilt of one of the other mere advisors with, "Can do, boss," a few seconds later was all I needed to hear. Chances were, they wouldn't be new hires, but with supers you can never really tell where their loyalties lie. Were they political? For God and country? In it for the fame? Rarely, we'd meet one that was genuinely trying to make the world a better place. Even then, they were usually too set in their ways to consider working for the infamous Midnight Warlord. Not a fan of the moniker issued by the Alliance, partly because my best work was usually between 2 p.m. and sunset. Also because I wasn't a warlord. Ultimately, it wasn't important. The results are what matters. As the plane's steel door to the stairwell blew from its hinges, narrowly missing Ed, it became apparent that this was a dramatic entrance. We were all thoroughly entranced. The team of 4 brightly colored, spandex-wearing heroes only solidified the assumption. How they managed to strike a pose with the strong breeze blowing out of nowhere and rippling their capes in long locks, I've never figured out. At the very front was a strong, chiseled chin. Slightly behind that was the rest of the apparent leader, with the red and white spandex, codpiece, why? And blue cape. This was clearly our patriotic trope hero. Flanking either side were twin brunettes in purple and some shade of orange, respectively. At the back was some sort of pale weightlifter. Ah, his skin just turned into metal. Neat. Compared to my near invulnerability, super strength, and the superheated jets of plasma I could shoot from my hands, not much of a threat. Still, neat. My powers were still unknown to the Alliance and the world at large, but it helps when trying to bench press a transmission into a 55 Buick. The invulnerability and strength, that is. Still haven't found a safe use for the plasma thing. Halt, foul villains! Commander Jeep Patriot, or whatever his name is, commands in a loud, commanding voice. Ed straightens up a bit. We are halted already. Also, we can hear you just fine. Confusing heroes is a corporate class we offer. Yes, I suppose you are. Nevertheless, halt your villainous ways. Again, with the hero talk. We're not doing anything villainous at the moment. How about we talk out our issues in the conference room? Ed starts in on the pitch. There's no escape from just... Wait, what? No. No! Your reign of terror ends now! And with that, the short-lived fight was on. Fortunately, in spite of the capes, none of them could fly. The security team in their room full of monitors and switches was on the ball today, since he'd barely finished speaking when the floor dropped out from under the head honcho. His screams were only audible for around 20 seconds, but the fall takes 30. With the other 3 heroes stunned into silence, and 9 railguns capable of punching through 2 feet of reinforced steel or metal skin, Ed angled for the peaceful resolution again. So, conference room? Coffee? Persistence occasionally pays off. Of the 3, only the aptly named Metal Man decided to sign on. The other 2 were electrocuted in their seats as they tried to fling a pair of, no shit, ninja stars at my face. Not that it would have done any damage, but still, it's the thought that counts. With a new employee going through orientation, the topside access security guys handling the ridiculously painted VTOL aircraft on the beach, and Erica from accounting's office birthday party in an hour, I quickly showered and changed back into my Bermuda shorts and Hawaiian shirt casual Friday combo. Monday was going to be a big day, with half a dozen small countries already under my direct control, and puppet leadership in Russia, China, and over half of the congressmen in the United States in my pocket. I was ready to move to Phase 3. Once we had the Leadership Council of the UN, we could start on organizing the heretofore corporately opposed revamp of our world's energy production and resource depletion. My team of engineers had already made significant headway in the fusion energy department, but for the near term, nuclear seemed the most viable option. Redirecting 90% of the planet's military funding into space exploration and technology would lead to eventual harvesting of asteroids and other plentiful resources within our solar system. High-efficiency farming, support for new capital ventures, and returning the economy to a precious metal-backed currency were just a few of the steps. It's a shame that the world was so fractured that nations couldn't agree on much of anything, but you play the hand you've been dealt. If some folks wouldn't get out of the way of a better future for my kids, then they were crushed. At this rate, I could go back to my preferred full-time career of husband, dad, and tinkerer. This story was written by Eye in the Sky on a Stick. Read by a bag of Vicodin. Thank you for listening.